Sherman. This is Site 42, and SCiP-Dictation Live is the live stream where you guys get to hang out while I record the SCP readings. You can see all the behind-the-scenes stuff, hang out with me, chill in the chat. I'm going to pull up the live stream chat right now so I can see you guys along the way. Or maybe I won't because YouTube does not like that at this moment. We shall see. Nope, that's still a 504 error. Let's see if I can get around that. Because it's not much of a live stream if I can't chat with you, right? So, YouTube, don't be a jerk now. Nope, you're still being a jerk now. Come on, please work. Don't do this to me at this moment. Well, while I am trying to get the chat working, I will tell you guys what's going down because it's super exciting. I've already got SCP-3001 fully recorded from yesterday. If you were here for the marathon, wasn't that a blast? And now today, before I get fully into diving in and editing that, I am going to knock out SCP-3086. SCP-3086 is very special because it's the one I wrote. I wrote this over the last week and a half or so, pitched it to a couple people, it went up on the site, it's currently at positive 14 upvotes, which is not been downvoted into oblivion. It is survived on the site for about 36 hours in text format, but now we're going to do the reading version because the gimmick of the SCiP, one of the gimmicks, is that it's audio only because talking about it in text spreads the mimetic effect. So, I swear to you, YouTube, please open the live stream. Yes! We made it! We found it! We're in the control room of it. And I'm setting up the chat now. Hello, chat! Hello, Asimov, who was here and now is gone. Let me reframe this camera for proper reading. Make sure I turn it on Do Not Disturb mode. In case you're new to the stream, I use my cell phone to stream because my webcam is not existent. So here we are. Boom, boom. Chat is up. Let's run a microphone test. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. All right, we have microphone. Looks good. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. All right. And so now, as with the beginning of every recording, we take our 10 seconds of silence for the noise reduction and meditation. Perfect. Noise reduction set. Now, I haven't fully decided if I'm going to put music behind this because I feel like on one hand, music would break the immersion of people. But on the other hand, recordings are really boring without music. So, that's the one thing I'm not sure of because I can put some dramatic music behind it because it's supposed to be, you know, audible. Or I could be 100% real about it and what's the phrase I'm looking for? I can be 100% like method and real so there is no background music because this is supposed to be documentation. So we'll tackle that along the way. And in fact, I'm going to leave myself a small out. I'm going to record an extra phrase that I might add to the script after the mic check that says, hey, turn down that music a little. And that way the music is diegetic and it exists. So we'll see how that works. Maybe we won't want to use that take. Maybe we will. But let's start with that. Access audio log 1. Access granted. Wait, I think I cracked that. Access. Yep. cracking my first take. That's what you do with these early morning streams. It's like, voice, come back, please. I need you. La 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 la, voice warm up, mop. Access. See, that's my computer voice cracking. I sound like the teenagers on The Simpsons who work at the burger restaurants or every other terrible teenager job. Come on, voice. Get it together. Access audio log. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Access audio log. Access granted. Dummy, it's access audio log 1. Access audio log 1. Access granted. Begin log. Mic check. All right. I can do better than that. I don't like the way I said that. Okay, but we have master vocal track. At least something is happening, so that's good. Master vocal getting started. Begin log. Good. And then mic check. All right. Hey, can you turn that music down a little bit? Mic check. All right. Hey, can you turn that music down a little bit? Good. Let's clear some of those little clickies out. So yeah, we may or may not keep the can you turn that music down? But we'll see as we go. It might be a good way to sneak the diegetic music in there rather than just having random background music that might not fit the theme. Can you turn that music down a little bit? All right. Here's the main documentation. Oh, wait, I gotta move my computer screen a little bit. I can't see it under the music stand, so I can't tell if I'm successfully recording. Just move this over. Okay, now I can kind of see. Notice, this information contains infohazardous and memetic materials and is classified to SCP-3086 staff only. Item number, SCP-30... I can't say my own item number. I wrote it and I messed it up anyways. 10 in the morning drinking game. Every time I mess up my own script, drink. Item number. Notice, this information contains infohazardous and memetic materials and is classified to SCP-3086 staff only. Item number. Item number. SCP-3086. Object class. Euclid. Special containment procedures. No text or images describing or regarding SCP-3086 are to be written, typed, or drawn. Any documentation must be dictated from memory, and no transcription is to be made of the audio post-recording. All researchers assigned to SCP-3086 are to dictate research notes into digital audio recording devices. One instance of SCP-3086 is to be kept on a laptop computer with internet hardware removed in a storage locker at Site-42. I think I lilted a little bit. Let me check. One instance of SCP-3086 is to be kept on a laptop computer with internet hardware removed in a storage locker at Site-42. I can clean that up. Good morning, SCP-055. How are you doing this morning? SCP-3086. Object class. Euclid. I am glad you are doing well. I am also doing well. Laptop computer with internet hardware removed. Internet hardware removed. Internet hardware removed. in a storage locker at Site 42. Contagion testing using internet-capable laptops is permitted, provided that they take place within a Faraday cage, that all excess SCP-3086 instances are deleted post-testing, and that all internet-capable laptops are reset to factory default and switched off before exiting the cage. Testing with physical instances has been deemed no longer necessary. Fanfiction and fan art websites, especially those frequented by members of the furry community, are to be monitored manually. Monitor them manually. Drat. Okay, let's put that up. This is so exciting. This skip.
Hardware removed in a storage locker at Site 42. Hardware removed in a storage locker at Site 42.
Excellent.
By members of the furry community.
Furry community. Are to be monitored manually. Are to be monitored manually using an alphabetical list of postings for instances of SCP-3086. In the event an instance is discovered, the spread is to be tracked and all infected sites are to be reverted to an earlier uninfected state. Any users actively spreading SCP-3086 are to be located and amnesticized in accordance with how long they have had... Whew! Long sentence. Ran out of breath. Any users is where we're starting from. Yeah, we're going to machine gun through this skip today because I wrote it, so I remember most of it. I mean, still, drink anytime I mistakenly say my own script wrong. But, yeah, this isn't going to be a 3-hour marathon because, although I tell you what, for a skip that I myself wrote, I wrote some really difficult phrases to read. Like, I just self-flagellated myself hard. Because some of these lines are really hard to say. With a lot of weird tics that are hard to get through. Because sometimes I'm a jerk to myself. Alright, so.
All infected sites are to be reverted to an earlier uninfected state.
Earlier uninfected state. Any users actively spreading SCP-3086 are to be located and amnesticized in accordance with how long they have had knowledge of SCP-3086. Foundation agents embedded in local governments are to be on the lookout for reports of heavy vandalism of books at municipal libraries. If reports pertain to a physical infection of SCP-3086, agents are to engage Mobile Task Force Kappa 5, codename Haughty Librarians, to remove all books containing SCP-3086 instances. All civilians with knowledge of SCP-3086 can't say my own item number. I chose poorly. 3086, 3086, 3086.
Instances. All books containing SCP-3086 instances.
Are to remove all books containing SCP-3086 instances. All civilians with knowledge of SCP-3086 are to be treated with Class A amnestics. Okay, so I think I'm going to do that again. Drat. All civilians with knowledge of SCP-3086 are to be treated with Class A amnestic. If the report itself contains an instance of SCP-3086, rapid deletion and information transference protocols... Man! Drink again! Gosh darn!
All civilians with knowledge of SCP-3086 are to be treated with Class A amnestic. If the report itself contains an instance of SCP-3086...
Here we go. Rapid deletion and information transference lockdown protocols are to be implemented. Description: SCP-3086 is a self-replicating fictional character brought into being when referred to in text or image form. Instances can be created by writing or typing its proper name, George the Chinchilla, as well as using first, second, or third person...
George George the Chinchilla.
George Chinchilla. George the Chinchilla, as well as using first, second, or third person pronouns. Note, despite being named George, an instance will still be created when using feminine pronouns. An instance will still be created when feminine pronouns are used. Okay, just fix that one real quick. And continue. Cut it back, cut it back. Boom.
George the Chinchilla, as well as using first, second, or
Third person pronouns. When feminine pronouns are used. Continuing. An instance of SCP-3086 can also be created. Drat. An instance of SCP. Oh! Oh! A typo! A typo in my own work. I'm going to fix it. Oh, because I wrote it. I can fix it. It's an instance of SCP. Going in, fixing a typo in an SCP I wrote. That's so cool. This is still alive. It's not dead. It's not downvoted into oblivion. Instance of SCP-3086. Yay! Going back in, reading the stuff. Alright, so from where we were, and an instance of SCP-3086 can also be created in image form, provided that the illustrator specifically intended to draw a picture of SCP-3086. Drawing talent does not seem to alter this effect. Even poorly drawn stick figures can become an instance if they are drawn with intent to create a picture of SCP-3086. SCP-3086 can also be created accidentally, provided at least 7 descriptors match. Examples of matching descriptors: the name George, Chinchilla, anthropomorphic, teal, clumsy, best friend, jaunty. The odds of accidental creation of an instance by the public are extremely low. However, the furry community has a higher chance of creating instances and must be monitored closely. SCP-3086 instances can spread from their original text to new documents. In physical text, this can be accomplished via paper-to-paper touch. If SCP-3086 is written on a page 1 at Asimov, can you remember whether or not it was a sphere?
And pronouns are used. An instance of SCP-3086 and pronouns are used. An instance of SCP.
I gotta make that break a little bit longer. Boom.
Pronouns are used. An instance of SCP-3086.
Alright, we made it pretty far that run.
Accomplished via paper-to-paper touch.
Paper-to-paper touch. If SCP-3086 is written on page 1 of a book, I can say that better. If SCP-3086 is written on page 1 of a book, it will eventually be copied onto all attached pages. SCP-3086 is especially virulent online, with instances being able to travel from web page to web page via links on its original page. Once a text is infected by SCP-3086, the instance will proceed to radically alter the text and images surrounding them to conform to its narrative. Although slight variations occur, the standard narrative constructed by SCP-3086 aims to inform readers about the life of children's author/animator Saul Sislak, starting at his birth in Greenville, Illinois, and continuing through the entirety of his life. Let me make sure I didn't study that.
Starting at his birth in Greenville, Illinois.
Not study that. I said stutter wrong.
The SCP-3086 aims to inform readers about the life of children's author/animator Saul Sislak, starting at his birth in Greenville, Illinois, and continuing through the entirety of his life.
Yeah, I stuttered that.
To paper touch. If S.
Continuing on.
Starting at his birth in Greenville, Illinois. Starting at his birth in Greenville, Illinois.
Starting at his birth in Greenville, Illinois. And continuing through the entirety of his life. Themes in the story are typically about the general kindness and immense talent of Mr. Sislak, and end with the author achieving fame, fortune, and dying happy and immortalized in history by his beloved mascot, SCP-3086. The possibility of sapience in SCP-3086 has been ruled unlikely. Although instances attempt to multiply, no signs of self-preservation, such as covering their trail by changing links behind them, have been observed. Darn!
His birth in Greenville, Illinois.
No! No, I didn't record any of that! Ah, snap! Ah, snap! Didn't hit the recording button. That is voice acting lesson number 279er. See, why can't 055 be used in chat rooms? It's probably that it can be documented, but then you don't remember the documentation when you're done with it, right? I mean, that's my first guess. Bleach, can I crit your idea for an SCP? Is it an idea or is it a draft? I mean, either way, I'm not opposed. I'm just, is it like, I have this idea for an SCP? Or is it, I wrote this draft that I want you to check out? You got a draft. The Gmail is SCP-Site42@gmail. If you want to send me a link, I can check it out. Yeah. Yeah, shoot it to the SCP-Site42 Gmail. That way I can check it later, because, you know, right now recording. Yeah, I could put it here in the chat. That makes sense. And if you guys want to email Site42 for any reason, here's the email address. Ding! And meanwhile, Pinko, yeah, drat to darned. Everything is dire. Everything is dire. Okay, so, got... How much did I miss? Where am I back to?
Starting at his birth in Greenville, Illinois.
Starting at his birth in Greenville, Illinois. And continuing through the entirety of his life. Nope. And continuing through the entirety of his life. Nope. And continuing through the entirety of his life. Oh no! I found another typo! Man, having to read this word for word, I'm finding all of my typos. Man, going back down, hidden typos in the text. Where's the next one? Where's the next one? It's down lower. Find it now. Gonna fix the mistakes I made writing this skip. Fricked up. Continuing through the entirety of his life. Man, that's 2 times that I just omitted the word of. Like, of. Terrible word. No one likes of. Of is for suckers. Alright, let me go and see if I got that. Ba. 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 How'd that sound?
In Greenville, Illinois, and continuing through the entirety of his life.
Yeah. Okay, that works. Well, Unidad Dojix Pro 682 is not a Site 42 problem. So we're going to let Site 19 handle that. Why does Mobile Task Force Gamma 13 keep showing up to my chats? This is... they show up a lot. What's their code name? Continuing through the entirety of his life. Themes in the story are typically about the general kindness and immense talent of Mr. Sislak, and end with the author achieving fame, fortune, and dying happy and immortalized in history by his beloved mascot, SCP-3086. The possibility of sapience in SCP-3086 has been ruled unlikely. Although instances attempt to multiply, no signs of self-preservation, such as covering their trail by changing links behind them, have been observed. SCP-3086 seems to only have two... Oh, I did not know that they were Asimov's Lawbringers. Oh, I didn't know that Asimov's Rulebreaker was a pun on an already established mobile task force. That is not something I knew. I am learning new things about SCP puns. CP puns.
Of his life. Themes in the story are typically...
Man, there are like layers to everything.
Of his life. Themes in the story are typically...
Oh, wait. What?
Of his life. Themes in the story are typically... Greenville, Illinois, and continuing through the entirety of his life. Themes in the story are typically about the general kindness and immense...
Nice. Okay, so...
links behind them have been observed.
Have been observed. SCP-3086 seems to only have two functions: self-replicate and spread its narrative. Despite exhaustive research, no evidence of an author/animator by the name of Saul Sislak can be found in the Greenville, Illinois area, nor does any mention of artwork created by him appear outside of SCP-3086 instances. Addendum 3086-A. Excerpt of page affected by SCP-3086. Covenant's back clenched abruptly still, and he said with preternatural quietness, "Are you trying to drive me crazy?" His ominous tone startled her, chilled her. For an instant her courage stumbled. She felt the river and the ravine closing around her like the jaws of a trap. Then Covenant whirled and struck her a stinging slap across the face. The force of the blow sent her staggering back into the light of the graveling. He followed quickly, his face contorted in a wild grin. As she caught her balance, caught one last, clear, terrified look at him, she felt sure that he meant to kill her. The thought paralyzed her. She stood dumb and helpless while he approached. Oh my god, Pinko! I had not even considered Murphy Law meets 3086. Ah, that'd be cool.
The thought paralyzed her.
The thought paralyzed her.
Have been observed.
Murphy Law is part of SCP-3043. It's super fun to read. It's actually the first large special effects SCP reading I did, because the entire thing is a film noir themed SCP. Murphy Law is a hard-bitten detective who always does the right thing, but does it in a bad way. I'm no hero, kid. So yeah, Murphy Law is one of my very favorite SCPs. He's not even the SCP. SCP-3043, it's a mystery, so I'm not going to renew it, but I'm not going to spoil the mystery of SCP-3043, but Murphy Law is a part of it, and it's amazing. Go watch my video on Murphy Law SCP-3043 later on, because it's great. It's one of my favorite videos that I've made. But, so yeah, he has powers that George here would find very difficult.
felt sure that he meant to kill her. The thought paralyzed her.
The thought paralyzed her. And she stood dumb and helpless while he approached. Reaching her, he knotted his hands in the front of her shift and rent the fabric like a veil. But you know who wouldn't do terrible and unmentionable things to women? Okay, so pop quiz. I've got 5 people in this chat, 4 people. Either way, opinions. At this point, I can start doing a George the Chinchilla voice, or it makes more sense that this is being read by the researcher. So he's not going to start doing a voice, right? So I could do it because it's audio to start doing a George the Chinchilla voice, or exactly, keep it the researcher for now. That way when I do the voice at the end, it's crazy. So there won't be a voice now, there will only be a voice at the grand finale. Because the finale is when the researcher's taken over. Good call, I like it.
Of her shift and rent the fabric like a veil.
I'm glad all of you Foundation staff are in agreement with this plan. We're all right there. SCiP-42's got it together. Although that is eventually going to be George the Chinchilla voice, and I'm very excited to get to the end where it shows up.
The thought paralyzed her. She stood dumb and helpless in the front of her shift and rent the fabric like a veil.
Rent the fabric like a veil. But you know who wouldn't do terrible and unmentionable things to women? Saul Sislak. He's a real great fella, and I'm not just saying that because he's my paw. Your good buddy George the Chinchilla has been around the block a few times, and I've never met a man so devoted to putting smiles on the faces of children. Since the day he was born at the family home in Greenville, Illinois, he always wanted to write, draw, all sorts of artistic things. He made me when he was 7 years old, and we were the best of friends all through his career in children's books and animation. Ub Iwerks, Walt Disney, they worshipped my paw and his entrepreneurial spirit. That's why today you can find me, George the Chinchilla, on every type of printed media imaginable. I think I skipped something. Hold on.
SCP-3086 seems to only indicate narrative. Despite exhaustive research of an author/animalist that can be Illinois, or does any mention of artwork created?
Okay, I didn't skip that part. I thought I skipped that part, but I didn't skip that part.
George the Chinchilla. Find me.
Find me, George the Chinchilla. On every type of printed media imaginable. Saul Sislak's greatest dream is going to come true, and everyone... Drat. Oh, hey, wow, actually watching the live, welcome.
George the Chinchilla on every type of printed media imaginable.
Every type of printed media imaginable.
Printed media imaginable.
Saul Sislak's greatest dream... Saul Sislak's greatest dream is going to come true, and everyone is going to know his name. Addendum 3086-B. Incident 3086-7. The largest containment breach of SCP-3086 took place on March 31st, 2014. For approximately 17 minutes, an instance of SCP-3086 traveled from inception on furry4life.org through tumblr.com, before arriving in the email address of a Nintendo of America employee, finally taking up residence and altering the contents of the Nintendo.com homepage. Foundation technical personnel managed to revert the page after 3 minutes, and a cover story was not disseminated. Oh, yeah, Lorraine, we all have usernames. I'm the only one who doesn't use my username because I have like an acting page. So, these are all people I met on the internet from the SCP site. Haha.
And the cover story was disseminated. Printed media, imagine. Managed to revert the page after 3 minutes. Foundation technical personnel managed to revert the page after 3 minutes.
And a cover story was disseminated by agents implanted in internet media sites alleging an early April Fool's prank by Sega Team, using their blue hedgehog mascot to confuse the public and obscure memory of SCP-3086. Excerpt from Incident 3086-7. Alright, so I'm going to throw this out there. I'm pretty happy that out of all of this writing, I managed to get like popular references to Tumblr, Nintendo, Sega, like to make sense in narrative and like make this go mimetic and stuff, and it doesn't sound stupid. Getting furries in there, I think, is hilarious. Site 42, an actual canon entry in the site list as the place where non-volatile containment procedures are held, and audiovisual recordings are produced for the Foundation. Yeah, right now, I have an audio hub that no one knows about. It's the Sherm's Great Skip Dictations, and that is the main list hub for all of my readings on Wiki. And then beyond that, and I mean, it's just full of links to the YouTube channel because everything's a link to the video and the article. It's really clean. I like it. So, but now that I'm doing the Sherm's Declassified, I kind of did Site 42 since I was going to have different shows. I would have like the Site 42 hub. So we could use Site 42 in universe as a audio archive as well as, what's the phrase I'm looking for? As, yeah, containing non-volatile audio procedures and creating audio-visual stuff for Foundation sites. That's where we send all the AV kids.
Excerpt from Incident 3086-7.
Excerpt from Incident. Also, not gonna lie, I'm exceptionally proud of Mobile Task Force haughty librarians. I am just very proud of that task force. All right. Yoshi's New Island available now. Amazing from beginning to charming end. Technobuffalo.com. You're looking for charming? Look no further than your best bud, George the Chinchilla. Who needs a dinosaur with a baby Italian plumber on his back when we can go on the wackiest adventures to the jauntiest tunes the big band has to play? Remember, it's all thanks to the greatest entertainment magnate and all-around great guy, Saul Sislak. Saul could spend literal days cooped up in his basement, drawing panel after painstaking panel by hand. He always was such a perfectionist, which is why he believed that nobody could draw me the way he could and refused to hire anyone else to help animate his features. Saul was the most dedicated paw that Chinchilla could ever have. Drat! Was the most dedicated paw that a Chinchilla could ever... Gosh darn it. If you ever write a skip, here's what you do for your draft. You force yourself to read it word for word. You'll find every typo. Every single one. No matter what. Jeez. Okay. Okay. Largest containment breach. La la la. La 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 la. Dedicated papa that a chinchilla could ever have. Got it. And we're back. Yoshi's Island. By the way, behind the scenes, I actually went in the Wayback Machine and went to the Nintendo homepage on March 31st, 2014 to confirm what was on the homepage. Because I had planned on having George the Chinchilla replace Mario. If Mario was on the homepage, it was just going to be a big George the Chinchilla, which I'm assuming he still kind of did. But on March 31st, 2014, it was very specifically a splash page for Yoshi's New Island. So that is why that is in the script, because that is what was on that day, and I did my homework. I did my homework.
Anyone else to help animate his features?
All right, that's that, and the typo's gone, so now Saul the Chinchilla. Saul was the most dedicated paw. Saul was the most dedicated paw that a chinchilla could ever have. He could spend hours drawing and redrawing my whiskers to get the perfect angle for every frame. With that kind of work ethic, it's no wonder he's the foremost animation wizard of the entire universe. Addendum 3086-C. Further research into Mr. Sislak discovered the author/animator's obituary in a box recovered from the basement of the now-defunct offices of the newspaper, The Item. The obituary, submitted by the county coroner, reads, Saul Sislak, 1901 to 1947, Greenville, Illinois. Drat, Greenville, Illinois native.
Greenville.
Yeah, the obituaries are weird because there's so many commas that you never know which one is a break and which one isn't.
Help animate his features. 1947.
(1901 to 1947). Greenville, Illinois native. Passed away in his home 1 week ago. No relatives to speak of. He will be missed by friends. The attached coroner's note reads, decomposition is consistent with 1 week between death and discovery. Neighbors discovered corpse due to smell. Quoted, Saul even manages to be a real bastard from beyond the grave. Neighbors note large amount of liquor bottles around the work desk. Well, I just said that wrong. All right, take another drink. Sherman said his own script wrong. He wrote it, doesn't mean he can read it.
A bastard from beyond the grave.
Bastard from beyond the grave. Neighbors note large amount of liquor bottles around work desk. Neighbors note large amount of liquor bottles around work desk. Cause of death, self-inflicted gunshot. Addendum 3086-D. Test Proposal 3086-F. Researcher Evans has proposed testing copies of documents listed in Addendum 3086-C with SCP-3086. Test Proposal 3086-F is currently under consideration. Correction. Test Proposal 3086-F has been approved. See SCP-3086-F test log. And falsetto. Come back, falsetto. Come back to me. I need to end this log. End log. There we go.
End log.
All right. George the Chinchilla, round 1, comes out to about 10 minutes. And, you know, some of that will change with, oh, there we go. Some of that will shorten up, but not a whole lot of it. I went through and was pretty clean about cutting things to where the breaths are. So that's about 10 minutes of skip. Oh, minus,
Access audio.
let's cut that back to the beginning. Yeah, that's about 9 minutes and 54 seconds before we get to the oh god, everything goes wrong log.
Access granted. Begin log. Mic check. All right. Hey, can you turn that music down a little bit? Notice.
All right, so hey, while I have people here, I mentioned this early on before you guys showed up, but another artistic SCP question. Most of the time, recordings benefit from music. However, having music is artistic and might not be befitting of an SCP document. So we have three options here that I can think of. Number one, just no music, let it sit. It's going to make the recording a little more boring, but it's going to make it the most proper. Like 100%, this is the cleanest way to do it. Option two is to have music in the background. And it should have music because it's good and art, and people will let that slide. Option three is that I have a little extra take line that I can add into the log that is, hey, can you turn that music down? So there will be music playing during the mic check, and then he has them turn it down, and that makes the music diegetic. So that there's diegetic music, which is music that's in universe. So, on one hand, in universe music might not be the most professional, but it could be that So yeah, that way another researcher is playing some music, and that explains why there's music in the background. I'm not sure which way to go with that. So if you guys have an opinion on that, throw it up in the chat. But while you're thinking of that, I'm going to go into audio log 2, which is not going to have music because it's just going to have klaxons. Containment breach sound. Uh-oh. So, here we go. Access audio log 2. Access granted. Begin log. Alert. SCiP-42 is currently undergoing a containment breach. This message has been declassified specifically to the Memetics and Info Hazards Division. It is very difficult to explain the current breach event, as doing so incorrectly would spread the breach outside of SCiP-42. Infection vectors related to our breach were initially text and image, but events during the latest test caused a memetic mutation event. Audio recordings and speech have also become active infection vectors. In the event of audio recording infection, all recordings on the device affected will have their audio altered to match similar narratives to those found in prior text and image infections. The effect it has on speech is especially virulent. There are currently several researchers infected and spreading the contagion across the site. They're trying to get into this office right now. Please send help. Repeat, please send more people to SCiP-42 to meet your best pal in the whole wide world, George the Chinchilla. I'm at the forefront of everyone's minds right now. Literally. I was in a real sad state to hear what happened to my pa. Good old Saul Sislak certainly didn't deserve to go out the way he did. That's okay though, because I'm going to buckle up my spats and give 110% to make sure everybody, whoever is or was, can't stop talking about the most magnificent maestro of making magic, Saul Sislak. End log.
Access audio log 2.
Now I've got to listen to what this sounds
Access
like.
granted. Begin log. Alert. SCiP-42 is currently undergoing a containment breach. This message has been declassified specifically to the Memetics and Info Hazards Division. It's very difficult to explain the Info Hazards Division. It's very difficult.
Little click there I can take out.
Hazards Division. It's very difficult to explain the current breach event, as doing so incorrectly would spread the breach outside of SCiP-42. Infection vectors related to our breach were initially text and image, but events during the latest test caused a memetic mutation event. Audio recordings and speech have also become active infection vectors. In the event of audio recording infection, all recordings on the device affected will have their audio altered to match similar narratives to those found in prior text and image infections. The effect it has on speech is especially virulent. There are currently several researchers infected and spreading the contagion across the site. They're trying to get into this office right now. Please send help. Repeat, please send SCiP-42 to meet your best pal in the whole wide world, George the Chinchilla. I'm at the forefront of everyone's minds right now. Literally. I was in a real sad state to hear what happened to my pa. Good old Saul Sislak certainly didn't deserve to go out the way he did. That's okay though, because I'm gonna buckle up my spat and give 110% to make sure everybody, whoever is or was, can't stop talking about the most magnificent maestro of making magic, Saul Sislak. End log.
All right. I needed to check because the researcher there starts out, this is going on, I'm trying to be professional, but I'm going to have to add some banging noises and klaxons because that is an audio alert of a bad situation. So there's going to have to be alarms, then there's going to have to be banging, then he's going to have to slip up and say the wrong thing, so he gets transformed. So yeah, we made it. That is SCP-3086. We've cleaned up some typos in it. We have recorded it. That adds an extra minute and a half, so it's an 11.5-minute skip in audio. But because I made the text logs, it's wholly okay for people to just read it, because in my comments on the discussion for 3086, someone mentioned that SCP-1159 was also audio only because it could not be typed about. But what happened is a lot of people did not like having to listen to it, so I put mine up as text first, kind of because I wanted it to survive just based on the writing rather than a gimmick. And heck, now that it's 11.5 minutes, I'm very glad I put it up as text. And now I'm going to add this MP3 to the top of the page as of, this should be what you do. But if you want to listen to it, it's there. The whole thing. So, because yeah, a lot of people were mad that there was no transcript. Someone eventually made a transcript for it, but I don't think it was the writer. I think someone else made a transcript for them. So, yeah. Oh, see, that's what happens when you do candle. I didn't say it. I did not say his name. Because I know what happens when you say his name and you can't say his name. And I would not be dumb enough to say his name. No, I didn't say Candlejack. Okay, but that's that. So, actually, as an April Fool's joke, next year, you guys know now, I'm going to try to make an audio recording of the skip that can only be done in pictures. There we go. The perfect. It's just a silent recording with a photo slideshow of the pictures from it. Done. April Fool's Day complete. Okay, so yeah. This is, if I had to summarize 3086 from the writer's perspective, it would be Fred with the powers of 3043, a baby version in the beginning, but it gets upgraded to a full version when you make it mad later on. And then Fred is an entity that exists no matter what and travels from story to story. So there's only one Fred. George, his evil twin, Fred and George, get it? Does not exist unless you create him, and you can create multiples and multiples and multiples. And they are trying to take over the world because they're the evil twin. So that's kind of where the concept of 3086 came together. It's like, bit of this, bit of that, bit of that. Initially, I kind of wanted it to be sad where like this, I cut off the entire second audio log because I wanted the idea to be, A, there's this really happy cartoon character trying to spread the word about its creator. 2, that ended really badly for that creator and the character doesn't know it, and that's a little tragic. And C, the final test proposal is, let's show him his dead dad and see what happens, which is awful. And so I ended it there with someone with the thought being, well, that's awful. God, why would you do that? But then I got a couple mentions in formatting that it just kind of dropped off and ended that didn't feel like there was a payoff. So I added the second audio log and boom. I mean, it's a grimdark ending, but who doesn't love a grimdark ending, right? And yeah, anybody who talks about George or because yeah, that's the big secret. You cannot write about George, you can't draw George, and you can't talk about George. Listening to it doesn't hurt. Seeing it doesn't hurt. Reading it doesn't hurt. It's only when you spread the gospel of George in any way that he becomes a part of you. So that's like the gimmick to the skip. But then I also use that to get the audio gimmick. So y'all heard you like gimmicks, so I put a gimmick in my gimmick. I don't know what you would do with a gimmick, so you could do that while you do that. But anywho, I've blabbered on the end of this for long enough. What's the first rule of George Club? SCP-055, you're a monster. Don't talk about George Club. So, I need someone to draw a teal chinchilla. And that way we can make Don't Talk About George Club memes. Because that's amazing. But I can't draw. So, if we just had a little teal chinchilla, it has to be jaunty because it's 1920s themed. It has to have spats. And has an anthropomorphic, jazz age, teal chinchilla. Don't Talk About George Club. And then, so yeah, we've reached the end, folks. We got it done. I'm going to edit this, post it onto 3086, put it on my YouTube channel. And then beyond that, thank you for hanging out for this hour for the 3086 hour. Hope you guys had fun in the live stream in the chat. Like, share, and subscribe videos. Spread the channel. We're at like 315-ish subscribers now. We jumped up 40 subscribers in the last 2 days. That's pretty epic. And then from there, if you really like the channel and you want me to be able to do this all the time, please consider checking out the Patreon, joining that, because that makes it way easier for me to justify taking all the time I do for this. It lets me ignore my day job a little bit because this is the art that we want to create. So yeah, YouTube stuff, Patreon stuff, SCiP-42. Hope you guys had fun. See you next video. Cheers.